I did my Walmart shopping this morning, my usual routine, and I went to the checkout stand, and there was a guy that works at the cashier checkout stand, and he had like his body was like covered in tattoos, and I think that's the acceptable thing now. I think times have changed, and now people don't have to worry about how many tattoos they have on their body showing when they do customer service work, which is so different from when I was growing up. It was definitely a situation where they wouldn't hire you if you had too many tattoos. You had to make sure you just had a few. Like if you had like a tattoo on your, like on your arm, like, like Popeye the Sailor, you had like maybe like an anchor on your arm, and that would be about it. And then they'd be like, okay, but they would tell you like just wear a long sleeve shirt or something, because they still would be a little bit hesitant even about that. So it's a crazy time. And I'm so glad now that people can, have as many tattoos as they want, because I don't care. Just as long as you're a polite person and you're easy, and you'd have good customer service skills, that's all that really matters. But this particular guy, he was very nice, but he didn't scan some of my produce right. Like there was a watermelon that I got that was only supposed to be like $5, and it was a seedless watermelon. And I saw that when he scanned the little barcode, it came up as a seeded watermelon, and it charged me, I think, $1 more for it. But I kind of felt like he was new, because just the things that he was doing at the checkout stand, like every single bag that he reached for, he would dip his hands into like that liquid stuff, to make his fingers moist so we can get the plastic bags to work. Like every single bag he tried to open, he would always dip his fingers first into that goo. And most checkers, they just dip it one time, and they can do the entire, an entire round of bags without having to dip their fingers in that goo. So, and then he was being real, you could tell, I could also tell he was new because he was being like super friendly. So I was like, he was asking me like, how's my weekend going, and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, he must be really new. So I didn't want to make him feel bad or tell him he did anything wrong, because I didn't want it to be a negative experience for him, because I just got that sense that it was his first day or first week of doing Walmart. And the job's already hard enough as it is. And it's such a thankless job, and they just work you to the bone in those type of jobs. So I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna like not even worry about it. What's $1? Who cares? Hi, just picking it. Anne-Marie. Yeah, just this one here. Great, thank you. Thank you. Dang, somebody had some really bad body odor inside of that Starbucks. Ooh, shoot, I couldn't wait to get out of there, and I felt so bad for the ladies that have to work in there, because they gotta smell that. Holy smokes. No, thank you. Oh gosh, there's somebody behind me. Come on, people, let's go. I got Starbucks I gotta deliver. I got a very important VIP customer that I gotta deliver to. All right, we're gonna be going like 7 minutes away, 1.6 miles, and it's a house and it's a leave at the door. Yeah, the Starbucks order was ready to go as soon as I walked in. I just grabbed it and I could see the name. So I just told the girls that I was, the name of the customer, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's the right one. And I go there so often, I'm sure they know exactly who I am. And then now that I know that one person knew who I was from YouTube, my mind always thinks now that people might have seen my videos and recognize me when I go in, but they're too polite to say anything. They're like, oh, we know he's the guy from the YouTube videos, but they don't say anything. They just try to be polite, which I think I would do the same thing. Like if I saw somebody that I saw on YouTube, I probably wouldn't say anything. That's just probably how I am. I just be like, oh my God, I go tell my friends later on. I say, you know that guy that I saw on the YouTube? I saw him at the whatever place. And I would just tell my friends. But I don't know if I would. I think I'm too introverted to approach a stranger and tell them, oh, I saw you on YouTube. That's just me. Well, everything's just moving along over here this morning. And one of the family members is coming back from a long trip. And so I got to go pick them up, I guess sometime this evening. And so, but I'm still only going to be working my regular shift today probably till about 11:30. So that's still not going to change. But I just got to make sure I'm not asleep, because sometimes I fall asleep like around 6 or 7 because I get up so early. So hopefully I'll try to make sure I set an alarm in case I start to drift off. And then I'll have to head over to the airport near us. What is our airport? Our airport used to be called McCarran, but they changed the name because I guess that particular person, there was something controversial, something race related. That history showed that person wasn't so nice to African American people. So they were, I don't know if they were pro-segregationist or something like that. So they changed the name to Harry Reid. That's right. So that's the name of the airport now. It's Harry Reid International. So, we're almost here. All right, we're in the community. They didn't ask for my ID. They have a sign that says you must show your ID. But I guess they're getting more lenient or something. Or maybe things have been going real smooth in this community, and they haven't had any problems, so they feel like, why should they enforce the ID situation unless there was a problem? So maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. I'm just kind of glad. Sometimes it's a headache to have to keep showing, the ID. All right, it's gonna be, I think, this first one here on the right. Yep, it's this one on the right. All right, let's do it. All right, I just gotta back out of here. Let's see, we just got something from DoorDash. It's $11.25 for 11.6 miles, but that's not gonna work for us. That's too low. $6.75 for 1.9 miles from Walgreens, and it's DoorDash. But I don't shop. It has to be at least $8 for me to shop at for anybody. I just won't do it. I just won't. I'm so sorry. Oh, I should turn on Uber. Boy, it's coming in fast and furious for DoorDash. We got a McDonald's one from DoorDash, $4 for 4.2 miles. That ain't gonna work either. I'm trying to stick with $1.65 for every mile. And I have my little cheat sheet all set up over here, so I'm ready to go. And I've noticed that in the consistently all this year, every month, I'm in the 160s. I'm in the $1.60 range. So I'm getting $1.60 for every mile. $3.05 UberEats for 5.3 miles. No. So, I may have to be online a lot longer than most people, but I'm not really working. I'm at home. UberEats, $8.06 to shop and pay. for 9.5 miles. That's a no. Yeah, I'm usually not in the car, so I don't really count it. At the moment I get home, I feel like I'm off the clock. So, I mean, I'm still taking offers. $5.51 from UberEats, and it's a match one for 5 miles. That ain't gonna work either. So I just take my myself basically off the clock when I'm at home. And yeah, I'm on the phone, but I'm watching TikToks and YouTube videos. So I'm having a good time, and I'm chatting with the family. So I really don't feel like I'm working. I do feel like I'm on call. So I guess that is true. I do feel like I'm on call, like a doctor would be on call. So there is that factor. And of course I am trapped at home. I can't really go anywhere because, I've got to make sure I'm available should something come in. But it's all good. It's all good because I really want the car to last a long time. Well, let's see. DoorDash just brought me something, $3.50, and that's too low. Doesn't matter what the miles are. And then UberEats just brought a match, $3.30, and it was, once again, it was too low. So yeah, I'm not really concerned with being on call or on standby or whatever and not getting paid for that. I think I'm more concerned about putting too many miles on the car because I want this car to last a long time. All right, we got the next one. It's going to be Press for Juice, $5.50 for 2.7 miles. Let's go. I found out that another one of my neighbors is going to be moving. And when I went online to see how much they're charging for the next person to move in, it's like over $3,000 a month for them to rent. That is so crazy how high the cost of rent has gone up in this town. It is unbelievable. When I first moved here, you could rent one of these houses for $1,000, and that was it. You spend like $1,000, maybe $1,500. So somewhere between $1,000 or $1,500. Like a small one, you can do it for $1,000, and then for a little bit larger one, it would be like $1,500. And now that's over doubled. And that was probably 15 years ago. So I guess a lot of time has passed, but it's crazy how fast rent goes up. And compared to somebody, when if you have like a fixed mortgage, it always stays the same. So during this high periods of inflation, all these people that have locked in their mortgages are so lucky because they don't have to deal with that stress. That's a lot of stress. I can remember when I was a renter and I lived in Pasadena, we had a rent for $850 a month for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Pasadena, California. And when we finally left, we left because they were going to raise the rent to $1,200 a month. And that was in 1999, which is crazy. It's crazy how they can just instantly make the rent go sky high. It is absolutely criminal. Alright, well, it looks like we're going to be going to a house. It's a leave at the door, and there's no other information. It's 1.5 miles from here, so let's go. Yeah, I don't know how people can afford to pay these sky-high rents. I guess when you're young, maybe they pay you more money. I don't know. I don't know how people can afford to keep up with these sky-high rents. It's a mystery to me because I couldn't afford it. I'd be like, I gotta go to Missouri or I gotta go to Oklahoma or Alabama. I gotta go somewhere where it's cheap because I sure as heck couldn't afford to pay for these sky high rents and they just keep going up. Like, let's suppose you can suddenly afford it. Well, you can't afford it if it just keeps going up, because year after year it seems like they raise it no matter what. So I don't know, I feel bad for all these people that are renters. You know, when I was really young and I was like living at apartments with my sister, we would have all kinds of her friends living with us. So I had all these different roommates, and we would all split the rent just so we could afford, you know, the apartment. So at one point, I think there was like 4 of us all sharing the rent just to survive. And you know, when you have 4 different people living together and they're not actually family members, that's a lot of drama, to say the least. You know, like if it's family, it's one thing because, you know, you grew up with each other, so you know each other's idiosyncrasies and all your different ways that you are. But when you have just friends, they come with a whole different set of, you know, personality traits that completely can shock you and make it very difficult for you to want to live with them, period. And that's the unfortunate part of having roommates that are strangers, is that what's acceptable for one person is completely inappropriate for the other person, and it makes it very uncomfortable. So that's why if you do ever get roommates, you want to make sure they're either a family member or at the very least they're a very close friend that you've known since childhood, because other than that it can become complicated. I mean, big time. And then you're out on the street or there's a big fight, big blow up. So who wants to deal with that drama? I'm sure a lot of you out there who are renters, you're just living with your boyfriend, girlfriend, your significant other, your family member, because you guys know, you know that the drama that can come along with taking a chance and moving in with a stranger, all the freaky deaky things that could go on that you don't want to be a part of. So it's just crazy. All right, this particular person didn't give me a gate code, and let's hope that they're in a guard gated community, because there are 3 different communities in here that are locked up, that you have to have a gate code, and they didn't give me a gate code. And there's one community in here that's like $1 million community, and they have a guard. So we'll have to see, but it looks like, based on the map, like I can see a little further ahead on the map, and it looks like we're gonna need a gate code and we're gonna get stuck. So let me pull up my my little Google Maps and see if I can find something. Going with the guard. We're coming in. Get my ID out. Good morning. Whew, we were stuck for the longest time. That was no joke. That was no joke. I guess the person didn't realize that to call the guard. And so he was calling and I was calling. Everybody was calling, trying to get a hold of somebody. And so it was so funny that coincidentally, he got a hold of somebody at the exact same time I got a hold of somebody. And so he was talking to them and they gave approval. And then the person I was talking to, they said they would call the guard gate to get approval for me to come in. And they apologized. In a quarter-mile turn. But anyway, we're in, as you can see, as we're cruising through the $1 million community that has the guard. That was actually more difficult than not even having a gate code to get into one of the ones with just a regular gate code box. And the poor guard, he was getting frustrated because he didn't want to turn me away because at this particular community, they don't get a lot of visitors. This is a very small $1 million community. So there was like nobody behind me. So he had no pressure to tell me to, come back, to leave or come around. you know, like I was blocking things because, you know, that's a very easy gig for this community. They don't get a lot of traffic in here because there's not a lot of $1 million homes in this particular community. So let me turn here. We're almost there. But yeah, he was real easygoing. It wasn't you do this job long enough, nothing's stressful. You're just like, whatever. I don't let nothing faze me. I just do my job, you know? I mean, unless it's life or death situation, I'm not going to be stressed about nothing. All right, we're here. When I first moved here, you could get a house in this neighborhood for probably for like a couple of $1 million, but they've really gone up. Am I going the right way? I don't think I'm going the right way. Oh dear, let me put on I'm turned around. Let me turn on my navigation. Let's see what it says. It says no, it says I'm going the right way. I got turned around for a second. I was like, I don't know where I'm going.
Turn right onto Rosegate Avenue.
I'm turned around, which happens sometimes, especially if I'm talking. If I'm like chatting with you guys and if I'm not familiar with the neighborhood, then I easily get turned around.
Right onto Rosegate
Especially these fancy neighborhoods, because you know they purposely make so many beautiful decorations that you get confused. You're like, am I going the right way? Or because you know they don't make it obvious the exit point because everything looks beautiful everywhere you look, and it hides the obvious turns of where you go to get out. It almost makes you feel like everything is the same, like you're surrounded by beauty everywhere you look. And these houses are so fancy. They got like giant lions at the front, and they really try to make them look super spectacular. So they just want to draw your attention to them. You saw that one house. Oh my gosh, I did go the wrong way. I took the long way back around because now I'm coming back out the opposite direction that I had originally turned. But whatever, it's a small community, so I didn't go that far away around. We're good. All right, we're at the exit point. So I'm going to turn off my navigation and we can proceed forward, everyone. So it looks like it's going to be a slow day. We haven't really gotten any additional offers. And I've had DoorDash still on in the background, and we haven't gotten a thing. So that kind of tells me it's going to be a quiet day, especially because this particular weekend. Oh, DoorDash brought us something, but it's $7.50 for 7.3 miles. So that's not going to work. So yeah, so I'm turning that off. So now what I always do if I don't have anything is I just start making my way back towards home, and then that's where I just wait, and I'll just have something, a snack. I'll have like a cheese stick or something. $8.03 to shop for 4 items at Target for 4.2 miles. But it looks like it's the Target on Silverado Ranch. I guess I'll take it. I guess. Okay, I accepted it. But I don't know which direction is better to go. Should I go? Oh, it says I should be going left. Let me back up. There's nobody out right now, especially on this street. So I can easily just back up and hop back around. Oh, something's coming in from DoorDash, $7 for 11.7 miles. We can't accept it because it wasn't any good anyway, but we can't accept it because we are on a delivery now. We're going to be headed off to Target. I'll show you guys what we're shopping for. That'll give us something to do while we're stuck at this red light. All right, so we're shopping for, it looks like some Panera soup. And we're shopping for, on the light go, here we go. We're shopping for some Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And what else are we shopping for? We're shopping for some honey. And the last item is we're shopping for some type of tea, some type of immune stress support tea. So that's about it. So we're good. All right, let's get over there. Sometimes I think I should charge more for shopping, like $10, because I don't know, I should really time it. I should really figure out like how much time do I spend inside the Target just trying to find things. I mean, because if I had to just do a ballpark, estimate, I would say, I'm probably in there for about 10 minutes. And then, of course, I got to drive there and park. So that's probably about 8 minutes. So you're talking 20 minutes, rounded up, 20 minutes to probably do this job. It's probably ends up being if you include, you have to then drive and then drop off. So I would say it could be 30 minutes. So I probably shouldn't take less than $10 actually when it comes to shopping. But, you know how it is. You just don't know how busy the day is. So, and I'm not so hardcore when it comes to the time, as is, I'm much more strict when it comes to the miles, because that's about the life of the car, and cars are expensive to replace. Whereas my time is not all that valuable because it's just I do it every day. So every day I just do my window, my 6 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And so like whatever happens. So it all averages out, because sometimes I'll get huge orders. I'll get like a $30 offer to do something, and it makes up for any time I lost in a previous delivery. And if I don't make it up, that's okay too, because it's just whatever I make. It's like I try to use that metaphor of going fishing, and the money represents like a fish that I caught. So if I think of it that way, I don't get so hard on myself for whatever amount of money I happen to make, doing this. So I think that for other people, of course, if you have to make a certain amount, like let's suppose, I had to make my rent, and I was like, well, I gotta make $150 today. That's my goal. So then you have a very strict dollar amount that you have to make. And I think, when I first started making the videos, I would tell people that my goal was to make $100 every day, because that's what I used to make before I started doing YouTube videos. I was making $100 every day consistently. I don't think there was rarely a day that I didn't make $100. And that was because I would actually extend my hours all the way up from 6 a.m. all the way up to, I think it was until 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And I'm not doing that anymore, because I have to spend that time now making the, oh, that's a nice car. It's like one of those hot rods with a giant engine. You didn't see it, but it was cool. So yeah, I had to do that, because now I have time that I have to designate specifically to editing videos, which is like 2 to 3 hours of time. So I have to basically deal with that. There's a lady here that's totally blocking me from turning because she's too far over, so I can't get in. And now she can't see. She's in a blind spot, so she doesn't know what to do. And she feels like a total dummy, which she should feel like a dummy, because she's blocking people from getting in from the right side. She decided she was going to make up her own left turn lane and block me from getting into the shopping center. Oh, people, man. People make up their own rules in this town every day, driving like maniacs. Pulling into the parking lot here, we finally got over here. See, it took a long time to get over here. This was a long drive. There was a Target closer to us, but obviously this is the one that I have to shop at. So at any rate, let's just park it and get in there and get these 4 items. I found it. I was in the wrong section. Oh, it's getting windy. All right, well, we got everything, and I don't think anything too bad happened. I won't tell you what I just did. It's too embarrassing to tell you what happened. We're going to be going to an apartment, and it is 0.9 miles from here. So let's get on our way. Not sure where this house is. I have a feeling it's just a townhouse in that community where you have to talk to a virtual assistant to get inside. I don't think there are any houses that are 0.5 miles from here. Yeah, it's that place. I can see it right now. I can see it. We're gonna be having to talk to the virtual assistant unless we can follow somebody into the community, which I usually end up doing if possible, but that usually ends up happening because it takes so long to get a hold of the person because the virtual assistant is always dealing with so many other people in other places that they can't get to me fast enough before a car allows me to just tailgate them in or follow them in. Oh wait, there's nobody, so let's see what happens. I'm gonna remove my microphone here. Maybe you guys can enjoy listening to me struggle. Watch me struggle. I'll show you when I'll film it. Yeah, I have an UberEats delivery for Way. Joshua H. Right? The unit number is 1.
Did you tell me it was a delivery?
Yeah, it's a delivery. It's UberEats, or it could be Target.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you too. Oh, and of course, perfect timing. A car's right behind me, so they get to follow me in. It's just perfect timing, man. Let me tell you, this job is so random. You just don't know. You just don't know. It's like I wanted to follow you in, guy. I didn't want you to follow me in. You can see all the hoops you have to jump through. I'll turn the camera so you can see. Very ordinary. It's your typical double-decker situation. Alright, so here it's going to be on the left. I think I said the unit number was this. Okay. I just got to turn around. Yeah, I wanted to be the one to be let in because it takes so much time to get in. Alright, let's get in there. Well, that's delivered. Now let's see if we can investigate and see how long that actually took us to finish that mission. So from the time I showed you guys the shopping list, it was 9:11 a.m. and it's currently 9:40. So what does that come out to? Oh, we're getting more deliveries, and they purposely send me a bunch of stuff so I won't find out. Okay, we have a Dunkin', $5 for 2.5 miles. That's acceptable. So I'm gonna accept that, and then we'll head on over to Dunkin'. But I still want to know if not. Let's say it was 9:10. So it did take us 30 minutes to complete. At least it was 30 minutes plus to complete that $8 delivery. So it is $3 Uber Eats. Let me turn Uber Eats off. So it does make sense. Which way am I going? it does make sense for us to take $10 minimum if we were a stickler for time. I don't know if I should be a stickler for time or not. Leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think I should do. I know in general I'm pretty picky, so I have to be lenient on some aspect of this job. So, you know, I do reject a lot of offers that are like $7 and something cents, and the miles are just like 1 or 2 miles to do shopping for just like one item, and I'll still reject it for that, just for the reason that shopping, I try to keep that minimum of $8. But I don't know, I debate it sometimes. Sometimes I tell myself not to take anything less than 10. I think it depends on my mood. Like if I'm in a mood where I feel like I've been wronged or I'm being mistreated by this job, then I'll stick it to them. I'll be like, oh no, you're gonna pay me way more money now to make up for the suffering that I've had to endure. I do that every so often. But oh, there's another Cybertruck. I can't show it to you. The angle, it won't reach you. God, they're so ugly. And this Cybertruck has extra large tires. It has like those monster tires. But man, they're so expensive and they're so ugly. But they do catch your attention when you see them because they don't look like anything else on the road. So they really stand out. But that's a fad. 100%. That reminds me of the DeLorean in Back to the Future. It's very similar to that. Like ugly as all hell, yet people are all excited in the beginning. And then it took about 5 to 10 years later and people were just embarrassed for you. They were just like, I can't believe you threw all that money away on that piece of garbage. So it's just a fad. There's no way that suddenly all cars are gonna look like that. It's not even a possibility. Because I think most people, the majority of people, if you ask them if they think the Cybertruck is a beautiful car, I would say about probably 70 to 80% would say no, they're ugly. Or they would just have real strong opinions. The opinions would be very polar opposite strong. It'd be I hate it or it'd be I love it. All right, we're pulling in the parking lot. Let's get on into Dunkin'. The line for McDonald's is so long today. All these people on the left, oh, you can't see them. All these people on the left are waiting in line to get into the drive-thru, and the drive-thru's way behind me. Man, people are really craving that McDonald's today. Was ready immediately, so that tells me that somebody else more than likely did not want this order, and you know why? It has to go to an apartment. I'm sure they saw that on their map and they're like, I ain't going to an apartment for $5, because you know, especially if you're new doing this job, you avoid the apartments like the plague because they're so difficult when you first do this job. The stress is unbelievable. That is like the number one stress point of people who do this job and have to deliver to apartments. It is just, the stress goes all the way to the top because you get lost and you're already have anxiety because you've not done this job that long. So you get frustrated because, you know, if you get lost in an apartment complex, it could take you a half an hour to deliver. And that's after you've arrived at the complex. It could take you that long because you're just so turned around and you're just so new at doing it. And then the frustration that sets in, it just makes it a permanent grudge in your mind that you are not going to deliver to apartments at all costs for that very reason, because they're so difficult. And this particular complex we're delivering to, it is not an easy one at all. This one, I believe, based on the map, now this is just based on the map, looks like it's one of those senior living places. And this is a particular place I've been to before, and the person was actually bedridden, and I had to actually go into their room and open the bag for them and set the food on their little table. And then at the end, he's like, "Oh, can you take my trash out?" So this one is going to be a challenge for sure. And I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to manage it, because they put no special instructions whatsoever in their directions. But now I could be wrong. Once we get closer, maybe it'll turn out that it's not that difficult. But just looking at the you can look at the pin drop and the kind of the shape of the twists and turns on the map, and so it doesn't look good. Well, you know what it could be, now that I think about it, there's 2 hotels in that area too. So it's possible that we're delivering to a hotel room, which in that case, it's going to be totally easy. So it's either going to be totally easy or it's going to be totally hard. But the fact that they didn't put any special instructions gives me a strong feeling, this is just a feeling, that we're just going to be going to a hotel room, and we're going to be dropping it off at the front door on the 3rd floor of a hotel room. So, well, we'll just see what happens. That's the fun part about this job. You just don't know. Figured out a solution. I entered the address into Google Maps, and it has confirmed we're going to the Residence Inn. So it is the hotel. So we are completely relieved that it's not that senior living place. So we're going to be going to the Residence Inn, and we'll be traveling up the elevator to the 3rd floor. So that'll be our next situation. Stay tuned. All right, well, we just have to park. It's this building up ahead. Whoa! Watch out for the people. Watch out, people. I'm coming through. I guess I'll park right here, this spot here, and then we'll run in, head up the elevator, and get her going. All right. That wasn't too bad. The hardest part for that one was just the elevator was so slow. So we just had to deal with that. So we've got just one more delivery to do, and we're going to be done for the day, and it's a biggie. I'll throw it up on the screen here. It'll probably be the title for the video. We're going to be getting $42.43 for 4.9 miles. So that's nearly a 10x. You're getting $10 for every mile, nearly. And the catch, of course, is it's a lot of items we have to shop for, but it's still within the range of $1 per item. We're shopping for 41 items for $42.43. So that's an excellent deal. So I could not turn that down. Not in any way, shape, or form could I turn that down. I'm like, wow, you got it. I'm like, mister, you got it. So let's head on over to Albertsons and do a little shopping. bonus part about it is that it's DoorDash that is offering us this shopping situation. So we know as long as we get all the items, we're going to get that money. So it's not like Uber Eats where there's that certain level of stress of whether or not they're going to actually pay out what it says. So, but you know, the nice thing about Uber Eats, if you do a good job, sometimes the customer will tip you even more than what they said. And that happens, I find that happens more often than with DoorDash. With DoorDash, usually if you do everything right, you just get what they promised you. And it's not that way with DoorDash. DoorDash, it tends to be, if you do everything right, you just get what was promised, and that's all. So yeah, so they each have their pros and their cons, but I prefer the DoorDash one the most because there's no doubt that you're going to get that money. Like maybe the customer will be upset and they'll give you a poor review if things don't work out for them, but you'll still get that money. And that's all that it comes down to. It's like as long as you get that money that you were promised, that's all that ultimately matters. Like when you get that extra money, it always feels good. It's like a nice surprise. It's like a bonus. You're like, ooh, a Christmas surprise. But when you're sweating bullets and you're like carrying stuff and pushing that cart, all you're thinking about is getting that money that you were promised. And that is it. There's nothing else you're thinking about. I mean, you want to do the job right, of course, but you don't want to get stiffed. You don't want to get cheated out of that money that you know you saw when you pressed the accept button on that app. In the previous video, I mentioned to you guys how expensive a can of peaches was. That they were almost $3 for a can of peaches, and that was the Del Monte, so that's a name brand, and it was the no sugar added sliced peaches. And so I went back to Walmart today, and the price was still high. It was just a little bit cheaper, like a nickel or 10 cents cheaper. But today, they actually had the peaches, the generic peaches were in stock. And the last time I went, those peaches were not in stock. My only choices were to get the name brand peaches or to get those awful little fruit cups. You know, those are horrible. Those little plastic little snack cups. I hate those. The plastic, I think, alters the flavor of the fruit. And so it is not the same. So I will never buy those little fruit cups. I find them to be disgusting. And so I ended up getting the generic, great value version of the sliced peaches. And it was still basically the same thing. I know the peaches, when you open it, they're a little uglier looking than the name brand. They're not as beautiful, perfectly shaped. But I don't care. If I can save myself $1 a can, I'm gonna go with the generic because everything's so expensive right now. So I'm like, I've got to cut everywhere I can to save a penny if I can save it, because it all adds up now. Because everything is so high dollar now that when you're saving, you're saving a significant amount of money every month if you can really watch what's going in your shopping cart. I almost got out of the car without showing you guys the shopping list. We're gonna go through it real fast because one, it's hot as heck in the car. I just turned the air back on. Let's see, let's go real quick. One heavy item is this protein shake. They got a pack of protein shake stuff, that's kind of heavy. They got a pack of paper, that's kind of heavy. Oh, the Drano's kind of heavy. Some cake. Oh, they just added another item, those bastards. All I really care about is cases of water. There are no cases of water. We're good. Okay, let's go in. 10:47 a.m. We have to drive 8 minutes away, 2.7 miles. And it's a house. We have a gate code and it's a leave at the door. Thank goodness it's not an apartment. That's all I have to say. Even though there wasn't any water, the cart filled up really, really full to the top. So it was a lot of stuff. It was not a joking matter at all. But we got it all. There were a few issues, some few minor things that I won't get into. But the main point is that we got everything and we're gonna get that money. That's what matters. And we should be, and this is taking us in the direction closer to home, which is excellent too. So we don't know how difficult the drop off is gonna be. That's the only question. We know we have a gate code, so that's good. Our only real issue is, will they let me use the cart? You know, my little flatbed cart. You know, if there are any steps, then we're gonna be in big trouble. Because it's a lot. It is not a small amount of stuff. So if there are any steps, we're gonna be huffing it. But that's okay, because we still have, technically, we have 40 minutes left in the shift. So we're fine. It's not gonna be like, oh no, we still have to do more deliveries after this. Because once we drop this off, then it's party time. It's Miller time. We're just gonna party up and we're just gonna go home, we're gonna have a nice lunch and just relax. So we just gotta get it done. We've gotta lug it. It's heavy. Those bottles of Drano were really heavy. And then they got all these cases of soda. They got, I think, 4 cases of soda. They got 4 giant bottles of Drano, and what else was really heavy? And then they just got big bulky items. The huge thing of toilet paper, the paper towels. I think that was it. I think that was all the big stuff. The only thing I think that was missing from their thing that was not significant, it was like 2 cans of tomato basil soup. They didn't have the quantity that the customer wanted. They had only 3 left and they wanted, I think, 5. But other than that, it was fine. It was not a big deal. Oh, we're not gonna make the light. Oh, the lights like to tease you sometimes here. Oh well. So yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff though to deliver. The bill came out to over $300 for groceries. So that means I'm getting a what? What kind of tip is that? A 12% tip? 15%? Somewhere between probably 12 and 15, I'm sure. Let's see. What is 300 times, I don't know, 0.15? So about a 14% tip. Yeah, it's about a 14% tip. So I guess that's fine. I mean, I'm happy with just getting that money. That's a big dollar amount for such a short number of miles. And I don't know when we started this, when we first got it. Let me see if I can look it up. Boy, this person is blasting their music. It is thumping back here. You hear the thump? I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear that? That's the car, I think, behind me. So we started this at approximately 10. So for this one, I think we're going to earn almost $40 an hour for this delivery. So it's an excellent one. So it's hard to complain, even though we'll probably be real sweaty when we're done. You can't really beat $40 an hour. That's a good amount of change, good chunk of change for our time. So it is well worth it. Like I would do these all day if they're going to pay me that kind of money. It's like, sure, let's keep going. Give me another $40 for an hour's worth of work. I'll do it. I don't know if I could do it all day, but I could do it at least 4, maybe 5 times in the day before I'd be completely exhausted. Because, you know, I'm not young. I'm not like in my 20s. But I would pace myself and get that check, get that money if I had to. I feel like I'm in a nightclub. I don't know. You guys probably can't hear it because my microphone drowns it out. But it is just the heaviest bass you can imagine. And these windows are well insulated too. and that car is just bumping. It is actually quite annoying. Unfortunately, this light that we're at, of course, is a super long light. There it goes. We're finally moving. Thank you, Lord. Oh, get me away from that car. I don't know how people can enjoy listening to music that loud with that much bass. Like, how can it possibly be enjoyable? I mean, their hearing must be their ears must be bleeding, I would think. Sometimes I think it has to do with people that have anxiety. Like, if you have a lot of anxiety, that would relax you. Just like the people that go to the tattoo shops and they get tattoos because the pain relaxes them. There are actually people who get relaxation from the feeling of pain, which is bizarre. It's bizarre to me. I'm like, there's nothing pleasurable about feeling pain, but there are some people that actually is an enjoyable experience. So I'm like, well, I can't judge them as long as they're not hurting anybody. It's like, well, whatever makes you feel good, you go for it. Just don't hurt nobody. Don't hurt me especially. What I just realized that after I'm done with all this and I have lunch, I've got to do laundry and I got to do all kinds of chores at home. I'm like, oh no, I better just pace myself. After I do this and have lunch, I'm just going to take a break and just chill out for a while. I don't think I'm going to show you guys anything because this is going to be so intense. I mean, maybe if I can get it all on the cart, then I can just show you the cart. So that'll be something. I'll try to show you what I can, but I got to get this done. Let's see, where is this place at? Is it this one? No? Where is it? Oh, it's around the corner. It's around the bend. It's at the end of this cul-de-sac. I think it's the last house.
The customer requested
Let's see.
their door. They added the following instructions.
Yeah, it's this one right here. And of course they have a step, but it's not too bad.
1,800.
All right, well, that's all done, everybody. So, whew, I'm out of breath. That was quite the load, let me tell you. All right, well, thank you guys all so much for watching. I got to tell you the money. Oh, take a look. Money above, money. Look below. Look, stats. Whew, man, that was a lot of stuff. Thank God for all my equipment. I don't know what I would have done without all my bags and my flatbed cart. That would have been a very difficult situation. I was so glad that I had the flatbed cart to like push up right up to the first step, so I didn't have to walk too far to go back and forth to take stuff off of the flatbed cart. So I was very fortunate that occurred, and I was so glad that their cars were completely to the left and not blocking my way to get to the front door. Oh my gosh. That's too much. Well, I'm gonna go home and have a nice lunch. I'm probably gonna have one of my veggie patties, veggie burgers, and that's it. And I'm gonna have something nice to drink. No soda, I'm just gonna have some water, try to be healthy. And that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye for now.